Now let us see topic 2.6, equipotential surfaces. See the definition. An equipotential surface is a surface with a constant value of potential at all the points on the surface. That means the surface where the potential is equal, that is known as equipotential surface. Let me show you with some figure here. These are three surfaces, spherical surfaces. They all are coinciding on each other, and I am putting a positive charge here at the very center. This is, let us say, positive charge plus q. And suppose that the distance of the first spherical surface is, let us say, r1, and for the second it is, let us say, r2, and for the third it is, let us say, r3. In this case, we know that the equation of potential for a point like charge is v is equal to kq upon r. So I'll put here v is equal to kq upon r1. This v1 is the potential on this first surface. Let me show here. At this surface, the potential will be v1. Now, if I take the distance r2, then the equation will be v2 is equal to k q upon r2, and likewise v3 will be k q upon r3. Now, let me explain this. See, on this whole surface, I repeat, this is a spherical surface with radius r1 and coinciding with this charge q. So, this point is at distance r1. So, obviously, every point on this surface will be at distance r1 only. And so, as per this equation, the potential on this surface at every point, whatever point you choose, every point it will be same, and that will be v1. So, this becomes one equipotential surface. Now, if you take another spherical shell, then which is having radius r2, then on this shell everywhere the distance is r2, that's why the potential will be v2. Let me note down here. On this surface everywhere the potential will be v2, and the same way here the potential will be v3 as per the equation kq upon r3. So in that manner, this is first equipotential surface, this is second equipotential surface, and this is third equipotential surface. Obviously, from this equation we can say that the potential of v1 will be larger than potential of v2 and will be larger than potential of v3. Now I can draw even further more spherical shells like this, or more spherical surface like this with higher radius. So in that way I can say there can be infinite number of equipotential surface. Ideally saying, there can be infinite number of equipotential surface. Mind well, if I take here a negative charge even, then for negative charge the equation is going to be the same, but the potential will be negative. Still, we can call this as equipotential surfaces, because the point is to keep the potential same. It's not important whether it is negative or positive, it should be same throughout the surface. Here we can learn one more thing. I am drawing the electric field lines produced from this charge. Obviously, the electric field produced from this charge will be radially outward. So, I am drawing that electric field here. These are only few electric field lines I am showing right now. Now, at any point on this surface, let me choose this point right now. At this point, you can understand the electric field line and the surface is perpendicular. Now you choose any point everywhere the electric field line will be perpendicular to the surface. So, here comes one statement that at any point on the equipotential surface, the electric field line is perpendicular to the surface at that particular point. So we can note this as an important point that for any charge configuration, equipotential surface through a point is normal to the electric field at that particular point. Now one more thing. See, when you move on any of the equipotential surface, the potential remains same. That means if I move any charge, if I move any test charge from this point to this point, the potential is remaining same. So I will not have to do any sort of work. That means the work done to move any charge on the equipotential surface is always 0. I hope you understood. You can also understand this with a different manner. Suppose if I place a positive charge, let us say capital Q here, then that positive test charge will feel a force in this direction, and I am moving it on this surface in this direction. So it will be perpendicular. See, the force is here and the displacement is in tangential direction. So the work will be 0 because as per the equation of work, Fd cos theta. So the force will be in this direction, in the direction of electric field, and the displacement is perpendicular. So as per Fd cos theta, we have to put Fd cos 90, and so work will be 0. And that's why while moving any positive charge on this surface, the work is always 0. So here is another important point we can write. No work is required to move a test charge on a equipotential surface. Now let us draw equipotential surface of uniform electric field. Here is a uniform electric field, let us say in x direction. This is x direction. Here is, let us say, y direction, and this way in crossword direction I should show z direction. Now I place this type of parallel surfaces. Here these two surfaces are parallel to each other but perpendicular to the electric field, means these two surfaces are in YZ plane. They are in YZ plane. So obviously it will be perpendicular to the x axis. So it is perpendicular to the electric field. So this becomes equipotential surface. We can say potential on this surface is, let us say, V1, and on this surface is, let us say, V2. Here throughout the surface, everywhere the potential will be same, that is V1, and throughout this surface the potential will be same, that is V2. So this two becomes equipotential surface. But yes, here V1 and V2 will have relation, like I can write that potential V1 is greater than V2. This is as per the definition of potential. We know that definition of potential says that it is the work done on bringing unit positive charge from infinite to the particular point. Now, if I bring a unit positive charge from infinite to this plate, then I have to do that work against the electric field. And if I bring unit positive charge from infinite to this plate, then here also I have to do work against the electric field, but the work will be more because here the electric field is in x direction and I am moving this charge. So in that case I have to do more work in the first surface. That's why the potential V1 will be more than V2. Now let us see equipotential surface of a dipole and of two similar charges. Let us say two positive charge and two negative charge. Now let me show you equipotential surface of a dipole first. Here is the dipole. You can see this is positive Q charge and here is negative Q charge, and these are the equipotential surfaces. You can see the equipotential surfaces are not concentric, they are bit shifted in opposite direction. It appears like that equipotential surfaces are repelling each other, and this is what very interesting is. In a dipole, there are two opposite charges, positive and negative, which basically attract each other. But the equipotential surface appears to like they are repelling each other. Don't forget, equipotential surfaces are imaginary surfaces where the potential is found to be same. So here it is not found to be same. That is due to the potential of each other on every point. Whatever point you choose, suppose if I choose a point here, then at this point the potential due to this positive charge will be positive and due to this negative charge will be negative, and so a combined effect will be found. That's why these equipotential surfaces are not concentric. Now, on the contrary, if I choose two positive charges, then the equipotential surface is found something like this. Here, let me note down, both are plus Q charges. So obviously they both will have repulsive force, but you can see here also the equipotential surfaces are not concentric. It appears like these equipotential surfaces are attracting each other inside. Don't forget, this is equipotential surface which is just imaginary. There is no attraction and repulsion type of thing. I am just saying this so that you can remember it, that when there are two similar charges, they obviously repel each other, but the equipotential surface appears like they are attracting each other. The same will be happening if you take negative Q charge. If both the charges are negative, then the equipotential surface will be found like this only. Only the potential on the surface will be negative, that's all. One more thing to understand here. See, you can see this is first equipotential surface, second, third, fourth. Now what will happen if we take the fifth equipotential surface as well? Here also this is first, second, third and fourth. Then what will happen if we take the fifth equipotential surface of both the charges? They will not cross each other. Mind well, they will not cross each other, but rather they will superpose each other such a way so that they will cover both the charges like this. So this is the final equipotential surface, means the fifth one, and gradually you can draw the sixth one and seventh one. They all will come somewhat like this only. So this is equipotential surface. Now let us see further relation between electric field and electric potential. For this, consider these two surfaces as equipotential surfaces. Let us name it like surface A and surface B. Now because I am saying that it is equipotential surface, so the electric field passing through this surface will be perpendicular to both of the surface. So I have to show electric field somewhat like this. Let me draw here a point that is on surface A. Let us name it like point P, and here this is the point on surface B and the name is like Q. Both are equipotential surface, but the potential will be different. On every surface the potential will be different, I am saying. Suppose on the first surface the potential is, let us say, V, and here on the second surface let us say the potential is V plus del V, or also we can write delta V, but here right now we will put del V. We don't know whether this del V is positive or negative. It is just a change in potential. It can be positive, it can be negative. We are just putting right now that here the potential is different than the first. That's why here we are saying it is V, and here it is V plus delta V. Let me show this as electric field. The electric field is in upward direction. Now suppose if we move a unit positive charge from P point to Q point. I repeat, we are moving unit positive charge from P point to Q point. Here the displacement from P to Q is, let us say, del L. So we are moving a unit positive charge in the direction of electric field for a displacement del L. So the work done will be written as this way. I can write work done in moving unit positive charge from point P of surface A to point Q of surface B is del W is equal to force F into displacement dl. But generally force on unit charge in electric field will be E itself, because the equation of force on a charge in electric field is F is equal to QE, but Q is 1, that's why F will become E itself. So this is E dl. Now this work is also equal to the change of potential between these two surfaces. So I can write del W is equal to del V. Now del V means it is Vp minus Vq. We are talking about these 2 points. So the potential of P is Vp and potential of Q is Vq. That way I am writing. But as we written, the potential at this point will be equal to the potential of this surface, and that is V. And potential at this point will be equal to the potential of this surface, that is V plus del V. So I am putting that values now, and so we can write further Vp as V minus this is V plus del V, and so it is minus del V. Now I can compare these two equations, and so we can now write that E del L is equal to minus del V, and here comes one important equation, that E is equal to minus del V by del L, or also you can write it like E is equal to minus dV by dl. This is the equation showing the relation between electric field and the potential. These equations will be very much useful in solving further questions. But right now we can derive 3 important facts from these equations. Let us see that. Here are the facts. The first is the potential decreases in the direction of electric field. See, this minus sign suggests that only, that in the direction of electric field delta V is negative. That means change of potential is negative. That means potential is decreasing in the direction of electric field. That is the first fact. Second fact is that electric field is in the direction where the potential decreases steepest. Means the electric field is always in the direction where the potential decreases steepest means fastest. So obviously it means that the electric field will be perpendicular to the equipotential surface. Then only it is possible that potential can decrease fastest. And the third point is magnitude of electric field is given by change of potential per unit displacement normal to the equipotential surface at that point. See, it's about this equation only. I can write this equation in a form of magnitude, and so I can write it like E is equal to plus del V by del L. I am putting the magnitude form. Here, this del V by del L is change of potential per unit displacement, and this is electric field. So again I am reading this. Magnitude of electric field is given by change of potential energy per displacement normal to the equipotential surface at point. Obviously the electric field will be normal to the equipotential surface at that particular point.